So, okay, welcome back to the sessions. We are in day 16 session. Uh, so today we are going to discuss about throws and as well as throw keyword. So one by one we'll see. So first of all, I'll start with the throws keyword. So far we have seen already uh, how to handle the exceptions using try, catch, finally. Programmatically also we have seen, and some other miscellaneous concepts also we got a chance to discuss, and practically we have seen. Now, regarding this throws keyword, what you need to understand is throws is a Java reserved keyword. Okay, throws is a Java reserved Java reserved keyword. Okay, for the purpose you need to understand. So it is giving, okay, it is giving indication to calling function. Okay, to keep the called function. Okay, to keep the called function under try and catch block. Under try and catch block. This is what you need to understand, sir. So yes, you may not understand this definition, but once you see the programs, definitely you will get the clarity. So throws is a Java reserved keyword, which is giving you the indication or warning or an instruction to whom it is giving calling function. Why? So to keep the called function under try and catch block. So I will show you one program so that you will get the clarity. For example, uh, I don't want all these things. One second. Let me try to delete this. And again, I will try to maintain. Under this, try to like what define the class as test5. Try to like what define the class as what test5 itself. Let me clear this console. And inside this class, for example, I have one method is there. So what is this method name? Tell me. Division method. Inside the division method, okay, we have some logic is there. Assume. What is that logic? Int x equals to 100 by 0. Sir, if I run this application, obviously we will get java.lang.arithmetic exception. So division method contains some logic. This logic is providing you one exception saying that java.lang.exception. Sorry, arithmetic exception. Okay. So how do you know this? Because of you only developed or you only implemented this code. So ultimately, if any programmer, if any program will call this division method, definitely they should keep this division method under try and catch block. Otherwise, what will happen? That program also will give the same exception because of division method logic is giving you the arithmetic exception, right? So obviously, this is a called function. This is a called program. Okay, obviously this division method is the called method or called function. So from which program we are calling this? That calling program I am trying to design here, test 6. From this test 6, define the main method, and from this main method, I am going to invoke the test5 class division method. If you want to call the division method of test5 class, first try to create an object of test5 like this. Okay, na? Test5 like this. After that, call the division method. So test 6 is very innocent because of we don't know anything. It is just like, calling program. Okay, obviously calling function is what? So this main method is what? Calling function or calling method. From the main method, I am calling the division method of test5. That is the reason I have created an object of test5 and then I'm invoking. Now, if I run this application, so even though there is nothing wrong in this test 6 program, definitely since division method logic is giving you the exception, this program also is giving you the same exception saying that java.lang.arithmetic exception. Okay, but still there is nothing wrong in the test 6 because of division method wrong, division method problem issue. Okay, test 6 also will fall into the exceptions. So how can we escape this? That is the reason if you are defining the method in such a way to provide the indication to the calling programmer. So then the calling programmer will take care by keeping this invocation inside try and catch block to escape from those exceptions. So what do you mean by my points are very clear. While you are defining the method, you mention based on the logic, what kind of exception it is giving. You mention that exception by using this throws keyword. Throws, which exception it is giving? Arithmetic exception, save this. And coming to like what test 6, since while you are invoking this division method, okay, the called programmer is defining the method in such a way it is giving you some indication. Okay, division method is giving you some kind of exception. Definitely I should take care this. Okay, so that is the reason, since this division method invocation statement, I am going to keep under try and catch block. So catch block, which catch you have to handle? Arithmetic exception only, because of division method is giving you arithmetic exception only na. System.out.println. Okay, write any message. So something wrong in division method. So you are going to write some kind of information like this. Println, right? Spelling mistake. If you are defining like this, okay. If any other statements are there, rest of the statements also got executed. Okay. Since we are handling the exception. So how you are able to handle the exception? Because of called method, called function defined in such a way they are using throws keyword. That is the reason you got to know. Okay, division method is giving you some exception. So I better to keep in my in try and catch block. Otherwise, I also will be in trouble. Such kind of instructions you are getting from the called program. Okay, that is the reason while you are defining the method. Okay, if the logic of that method is giving you any kind of exceptions, you better to mention those exceptions in the method declaration by using this throws keyword itself. Okay, now if I run this application, even though division method is giving you one kind of exception, your text 6 is not in a position to give you the exception. Corresponding catch block will be executed and rest of the statements also will be executed. So since you handle the exception, how you are able to handle the exception? Because of you got that instruction. How you got that instruction? Because of the called programmer or called method that they defined this method by using this throws keyword. Okay, in the same manner, it is not only applicable for this what we call user defined methods. So while they are defining their predefined methods also, they are defining in the same manner. For example, sir, as you already aware, integer class API in Java. If I open this, you just observe so many methods are there. As you already aware regarding the parseInt method, if I open this MNOP, right? But here I'm not seeing. One second. Where is the parseInt method? Control F. Okay, here it is there, right? When I clicked on this parseInt method, if you are observing or not, so see here, public static int parseInt throws number format exception, meaning that if anybody would like to invoke this parseInt method from any program of Java, you better to handle this number format exception, or invocation statement of parseInt method must be under try and catch block handling this number format exception. In such a way, while they are defining the predefined methods also, they are defining the methods by using this throws keyword, so that our Java programmers got some kind of indications whether you are going to keep this invocation statement under try and catch block or not. In this way, this throws keyword is very helping us. Okay, so I hope you got the clarity regarding this. Let me copy these two programs, test 5 and then test 6. Okay, test 5 dot Java. Let me copy this. This is the calling one. Test 6.java is the calling program. Test 5.java is the called program. Called function always must be under try and catch block. Otherwise, calling program also will be in trouble. So to escape from that, we are defining the method in such a way by using this throws keyword itself. All right, sir. After this, my next discussion about what's a throw keyword. It's very simple, but at the same time, it's very important also. Throw keyword, okay. Throw is a Java reserved keyword, okay, na? So use to throw an exception explicitly. Okay, use it to throw an exception explicitly. Yes, you may ask one question, sir. What do you mean by throwing an exception explicitly? Sir, tell me, arithmetic exception can be thrown by okay JVM automatically. Okay, when it met some condition. What is that condition? Tell me. When somebody is passing 0 as a denominator, arithmetic exception can be thrown by the JVM. Throwing an exception is nothing but creating an object only. Okay, throwing an exception is nothing but creating an object only. That is how exactly you need to understand. So far, all the predefined exceptions we have seen. So far, all these predefined exceptions can be thrown by whom? JVM only, when it met some universal conditions only. But right now, okay, using this throw keyword, I wanted to throw my own exception. I wanted to create my own exception class object when it meets my own condition. Whenever if it met some particular my own condition, I wanted to throw an object. I wanted to throw an exception, but that exception is not the predefined exception. That exception is the user defined exception which you are going to create. Okay, in that way we are going to like what use this throw keyword, right? So how can I use this throw keyword? You try to understand here. It's very simple. For example, take one scenario. Take one scenario. If we are working on any e-commerce project, where I am checking the project, where I am checking the product based on the weight of the product. If okay, I am just explaining you the scenario right now. Based on this scenario, I will try to like what implement this. You please try to understand. So now, for example, if you are working on e-commerce project where I got a chance to check the product based on the weight. So if weight is okay greater than 100, product is valid. Okay, sir. Okay, if weight is product greater than 100, product is valid. Else, okay, I want to throw one exception saying that invalid product exception. This is my scenario. So if this is your scenario, how can you understand? How can you implement this? Okay, and moreover, using this throw keyword, where I told you already, we can throw an exception explicitly. What is the syntax? You know, syntax of using this throw keyword: throw new exception class name. Okay, followed by open parenthesis and then close the parenthesis. I already told you, throwing an exception is nothing but creating an object internally or explicitly. So using new keyword, we are able to create the object. Na? Just we are using this throw keyword. That's it. Okay, throwing an exception explicitly like this by using this throw keyword. Whatever the exception class name, of course, we are going to use our own class names, our own exception class names. Okay, how can we implement this particular scenario? Let me open my Eclipse here. Okay, if I close this, okay, come on, try to like what define one class with the name of test7 or any name. So test7.java here. One second, let me drag to the console to the below. Okay, here public void check product. Okay, check product is the method based on the weight it is checking. If weight is greater than 100, okay, as I said, I'm implementing, sir. Product is valid. Okay, product is valid. Product is valid. Else, I want to throw an exception. Throw new invalid. Come on, please. Invalid product exception. So far, sir, whatever the exceptions you defined, all these are what, sir? So far, whatever the exceptions you are defining, all these are the predefined exceptions. The exception means runtime error, right? That is a problematic statement. Why we are getting this? It is showing the error because of since you are throwing the exception, always you are keeping the problematic statements under try and catch block, right? So that is the reason you have to maintain, you have to keep this one inside the under try and catch block. Okay, by handling this invalid product exception. So system.out.println. Okay, product weight must be greater than 100 kgs. 100 kgs. This is the SOP message I am writing. But still, I am getting this as issue here itself. Why? Because, sir, because invalid product exception is our own defined, is our own class. So that was not there in this package. So that is the reason I am creating this one as the class. Let me try to like what define this one as the class. Save it. Come back to like what test7. Even though after I defined this also, it was showing the error. When you keep the cursor here, no exception of type invalid product exception can be thrown. Sir, if you want to throw any class, any exception class, it must be of an exception type. So far it is normal Java class. How can you make this normal Java class as an exception class? It's very simple, sir. It must be extends from exception or throwable or runtime exception. Anything, it's fine. If it is an unchecked exception, you better to mention runtime exception. If it is normal synchronous exceptions, you better to mention exception. When you try to define this, immediately, let me save this. Still we are getting the error. Huh? Why the error is coming? One second. Can I maximize? If I maximize this, invalid product exception. Okay. What is this error? Cannot be resolved to a type. Okay. I think spelling mistake. Okay, spelling mistake, sir. Invalid product exception. Okay, I only gave the wrong. So, okay, exception spelling I gave the wrong here. Let me try to like what refactor, rename. Here just try to like what mention exception. And accordingly here also you mention, okay, it is automatically gets changed. So in this way, we are able to like what handle. See, if I maximize this test 7 program, okay, if the product weight is greater than 100, product is valid. Else case, we are throwing an exception. Since we are throwing an exception explicitly, I am keeping under try and catch block to handle this exception. Before you are handling the exception, you have to define this class by extending from the exception. That is the rule to make normal Java class as an exception class. After try catch we are handling where we are providing the message else is closed. Okay, before okay you are closing this check product, I am going to like what define the main method. Okay, so define the main method here. So after defining this main method, I am creating the object for the test 7 here. Okay, after creating the test 7 object, you call the product check product method. You call the check product method by passing 120. So whenever I'm passing 120, why we are getting the error? I'm not showing control shift F, control S. Okay, errors are gone. If I run this application, since we are passing 120 as the weight, so since weight is less than greater than 100, this if block will be executed. This is the positive scenario. Product is valid. So, but if I am passing less than 100, control goes to the else block where I am throwing the exception explicitly, my own exception. So accordingly, control will be terminated from the try block and it will go to the catch block, and this will be executed. After this, if any, come on please, if any other statements are there, those statements also gets executed. Rest of the statements also gets executed. Rest of the statements gets always executed. When I try to run this now, see here product weight must be greater than 100 kgs. Okay, rest of the statements also gets executed. In this way, we are able to like what handle our own exceptions. Not only like this, based on the requirement, we can define your own class as an exception class based on that particular condition. Try to throw that, and better to keep the under try and catch block to handle that. And if any other statements are there, it continues to execute the remaining statement. So this is all about what? This is all about what? How to define the, or else how to handle the user defined or customized exceptions using throw keyword itself. Okay, so that is all about what the throw keyword. So throw is a Java reserved keyword. Okay, for the purpose of okay throwing an exception explicitly, or it is used to define, one second, it is used to define customized exceptions. Customized exceptions are user defined exceptions. This is what you need to remember, sir. Now the same thing I'm going to copy. So test 7 already is there. Test 7 already is there. Here let me copy this, and since invalid product exception is the user defined class, I told you a very important note pointer. If you really want to throw an exception, okay, it must be an exception type. How can you make a normal class as an exception class type? It must be either extending from the exception or runtime exception or throwable. Anything is fine. Anything is fine. Okay, so this is what you need to understand regarding throw keyword. So with this concept, we have finished throws and then as well as what throw keyword also, so that we can complete the entire collection exception handling concept. Please try to like what practice accordingly. If you have any queries, you please try to keep those in the comment section so that I will try to clarify your doubts. So before attending my next sessions, you please try to thoroughly practice and refer my previous sessions so that these sessions will be very worthy. Okay, please like this video, share this to your needy friends. Okay, and if any doubts you have, please comment it. Okay, thank you all.